Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and very obviously, we are getting back to our SNAP series, our series on food stamps. Uh, First, we're going to do our usual disclaimer. Everything that we are currently covering in regards to Medicaid, SNAP, Social Security, pretty much all the series we have going on right now. All my sources you are going to find, folks, right there inside the description box. So should you like to do a deep dive on your own, or if you are someone who is interested in a fair debate on the facts and would just like to double check the information, you're certainly welcome to do so. Trigger warnings. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity. Sorry, can't help it. And also, we do talk on some pretty dark subjects like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, for example. So if you have a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is advised. Here, trigger warning. So, for those of you who are new to the channel, I live in Missouri, and particularly the southwest part. And Missouri has this very bad habit of not just god-awful heat, but horrific humidity. So essentially, anytime I leave my hair down, no matter how nice it is when I originally fix it, it is going to turn into a curly, wavy, frizzy mess, no matter what product or anything that I do with it. So I'm more than aware that it's been a little bit of a jump scare, but just humor me. I live here, and until we start getting into the later part of August and going into fall, this is what I get to deal with, which is a lot of the time why you guys so often see my hair braided during the summer. So, apologizing in advance for that. Not really much I can do about it. Okay. Also, political trigger warning. If you are super MAGA, or you are on the left, I am neither. Which means, more than likely, throughout one of the many series that I have mentioned, I am probably at some point going to say something that is probably going to offend you. If that is not something that you are able to handle like an adult, and you decide to go with ad hominem attacks, like the one that annoys me the most, Trump derangement syndrome, I'm sorry, but that's not an argument, Karen. That's name calling, and should have been left behind in kindergarten. So, you will be blocked from the channel and your comment removed. If you do any kind of sarcastic, condescending little stunt saying, well, why should we, the taxpayer, cover it? What about your family? You don't know what everybody's home situation is, what their relationships with their family is like, or why. That's none of your business. A. And yeah, no, just A. Just A. Your comment will be deleted and you will be blocked. Nobody has time for childishness, especially right now. Also, not just so much of a warning, but a heads up. Yes, I've seen the Epstein thing. Yes, I've seen what the government is saying. Yes, it is absolutely insane. However, we don't discuss it on my channel. because we cover very specific subjects. That doesn't mean I'm not like the rest of you watching all the other podcasters who are much better than me in regards to Epstein on their channels. It just means I'm not going to be dipping my toe in. I like to stay in the areas where I'm strong, such as going over this type of information here. Remain in my wheelhouse, as it were. So you won't see anything coming out of this channel other than maybe an offhand comment here and there in regards to that subject. All right, so speaking of comments that got deleted and the person who put it there blocked, there seems to be this weird idea, this comprehension that a SNAP card works like a debit card, which means you can use it to buy more than just food. In fact, the individual on that comment said that he watched someone use a SNAP card to pay for liquor, cigarettes, and lottery tickets. Which is how I knew it was an ad hominem attack and a lie. See, I've been on SNAP. I don't really need it these days. We're doing pretty well. But previously, I was part of the program. And I know for a fact that that is not the case whatsoever. But the government does this. They tell you about these things. They tell you that they're freely using your tax dollars fraudulently all over the place. They always act so vague that people can just throw in any kind of thing, and a good majority of people don't even know how to check them. So, what we're going over today is what you can actually buy with SNAP. And if folks would like to know my source, you can see quite clearly here on camera that it is the USDA. All right? USDA Food and Nutritional Service government website. Now, please excuse me. I'm going to double check my microphone. This thing makes me a little bit paranoid here. There we go. All right, so what can SNAP buy? Any food for the household, such as fruits and vegetables, meat, poultry, and fish, dairy products, breads and cereals, other foods such as snack foods and non-alcoholic beverages, and seeds and plants which produce food for the household to eat. So, for those who like to complain about what about all the extra and expensive stuff that you can get, okay. Here's the thing about getting expensive cuts of meat. It's just like regular money. Can I buy 2 to 3 filet mignons that are bacon wrapped using a SNAP card? Yes. Using the SNAP card, however, does not change the price of filet mignon. Which means if you don't use that card wisely, you're going to be starving pretty quickly. You see, they're not giving thousands and thousands of dollars every month to each individual who gets SNAP. It's usually determined and based off of what your income is at the moment. And once you pass over that threshold yearly income, like the table I showed you towards the beginning of this series, then you no longer qualify for food stamps. So, usually about around what you're looking at, say you're a single person like I was at the time. Now, I was in a particular desperate situation last time I went on to SNAP. So I got a bit of a double portion, which was about $230. And then after that happened, each month was $136. $136. But if that was in the 2000s, things were cheaper then. Folks, I'm sorry to tell you this, I really am. I hate to bust your bubble, but we're talking about around the same time as the W era recession, where inflation was way, way out of control. You don't want to know how much a decent cut of New York strip would have cost with SNAP, but it would have ate up way more of a chunk of my monthly amount received from SNAP than would have made me happy. Okay? Am I saying there are not individuals who will sometimes do that when they're not used to SNAP? Sure, there are. And I'm not going to sit here and judge them for it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't gotten one of those little small, tiny birthday cakes for myself on SNAP all those years ago, because I did. But it's not something where we're just constantly going in there every month, piling up the most expensive and exclusive cuts of meat to bring home, loading down the deep freeze that we can't, like, people stop smoking crack. Okay? Think practically. I know it's difficult, but please give it a try here. All right? Now, with that kind of money, what I would usually focus on was dry rice, dry beans, the cheapest I could find, like curry powder, canned meats or meats like pork foo, which you can get at different kind of Asian shops for groceries here in town, things of that nature. And I'll be honest with you, that's what a good majority of other people do too. Okay? We're not living high off the hog if we have to be on SNAP. We may get us one treat once in a while, or even if you see us loading up on meat. Do you think that they do that every month? Can you confirm that person loads up on all those expensive cuts of meat once a month? No, you can't. So, seriously, people do not think about this stuff logically because these are individuals who have never really had to use a program like SNAP. So they can't comprehend individuals who actually do. Nor do they have a concept in regards to how much one receives when they are eligible for SNAP. They don't even really know that not everybody gets the same amount. For example, in regards to some people who get SNAP, and you see big heavy carpets full of meat and all of that, you're just like, well, I don't get to have that. You think maybe they might have kids? Because I can tell you, Mom's cart looks a lot different now than when we were kids, where we would load up on meat. We usually get our big load of meat about once a month because my mom and stepdad are antisocial too. And yeah. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get back to what we are reading here. So, any food for the household: fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry, fish, dairy products, such as your milk, cheese, breads and cereals, other foods such as snack foods and non-alcoholic beverages. Now, I know there's a lot of people that really, really just don't like that, little poor kids are able to get little things like normal kids, like the kids in their school get, like peanut butter crackers, or God forbid their parents be able to get them fruit snacks with the SNAP card to go in their school lunches, or why do they have all those bags of chips and everything? But look, they're all overweight. Well, honey, Pudgy, mere you. Look who's talking. Just because someone maybe not be quite as lucky as you doesn't mean that on occasion they shouldn't be able to snack like the rest of us. Those snacks don't cost very much money. You want to know what costs money? Ground beef, fresh produce. Have you looked at it lately? We're not just talking eggs here. Go to the produce section right now. Yeah. Stop judging people who are on SNAP that you know nothing about. You don't know if they're buying for a full household or if it's just for them. All you know is that they're in front of you in the checkout line with a big cart and a SNAP card. Which means you know nothing. But anyways, let me move forward. This is specifically to the dude who left the comment saying that they were buying lotto tickets, liquor, and cigarettes with their SNAP card. This is from our own federal website, the USDA. In the plain black and white here. Households cannot use SNAP benefits to buy beer, wine, and liquor. You cannot buy alcohol of any kind on SNAP. What a lot of people do will go to Walmart, put everything in the same cart, and then they use the food card for the food, and they use their normal card for anything that is alcohol, wine, whatever is in there that is not considered food. So what you're actually seeing in the checkout line is what we call a split payment, which means you got to use the SNAP card first to cover for the food, and then right after you give in your other card to cover the remainder for the things that are not covered by the SNAP card. I know this because I have done it. I am a recovered alcoholic. Okay? Granted, I'm not anymore. Well, I'm still a recovered alcoholic. I'm no longer alcoholic. It's been a long day, folks. But yeah, let's continue to go through it. Cigarettes and tobacco, food and drinks containing controlled substances such as cannabis, marijuana, and CBD. You know what this means? It means SNAP does not cover CBD gummies. They don't even really cover regular vitamin gummies, so that really doesn't surprise me. Anything such as cannabis, marijuana, anything with THC. So those THC fused drinks, you cannot buy them with a SNAP card. Or vapes, or gummies, or edibles of any kind. You also cannot buy, like I just said, vitamins, medicines, and supplements. If an item has a supplement facts label, it is considered a supplement. It is not eligible for SNAP purchase. So not even your daily regimen of vitamins. For me, that would be one of the things where I'd have to do the split card with the debit because, yeah, my mom's in healthcare, folks. If you don't believe that I have constant vitamin C, because if she doesn't, I'm pretty sure she'll appear magically in a puff of smoke. Yeah, I got one of those moms. Best not to tempt fate. Alright, so you also cannot get live animals, except shellfish, fish removed from water, and animals slaughtered prior to pickup from store. Foods that are hot at the point of sale. You cannot use SNAP at a fast food restaurant or a regular sit-down restaurant at all, point blank, period. Not for Grubhub, not for DoorDash, not for Uber Eats or anybody that does fast food of any kind. You cannot use the SNAP card money to be able to purchase that type of stuff. At all. At all. You can't even get like